guys! So someone recently asked if I would do a Q&A video, and with all the things that have been going on, I figured that was a good idea. So for the last few days, I've been asking Twitter, Instagram, just various social media platforms what they want me to answer. So here they are. And I know some of the questions or comments might be kind of harsh because they have been lately, but I'm not afraid to fucking address them. This will be an interesting roller coaster of questions and comments. What's your ultimate cosplay if money was no object? But I think Mercy from Overwatch would be my ultimate cosplay. I'm not sure which skin. I'm kind of torn between her classic, just because it's her classic skin, the one that she's most recognized by, or her Witch Mercy outfit, because that one I love it so much. So yeah, if money and skill are no object, it'd probably be a Mercy cosplay. Why did you and your previous boyfriend break up? Before Richie and I started dating, I dated this other guy named Shane. He was also working in the sex industry as a male dancer in Washington, D.C. He broke up because it turns out I was his first girlfriend ever, his first serious relationship, and that was not my first serious relationship. I knew what I wanted from this relationship, but because this was his first serious relationship, Shane didn't really know what he wanted, and we would have conversations about it, and I think because he was so indecisive, that kind of hurt me, because I always want a final answer. Our experiences in life just didn't really match up together at the same time, so unfortunately we had to break up. I think we were just looking for different things out of the relationship, and I just couldn't wait for him to figure out what he wanted. You don't deserve all of the hate and trolling. I think you are gorgeous and hate to see you leave the industry, but I understand you gotta do what you need to do. Thank you. That wasn't a question, but thank you so much. I don't think anyone deserves hate at all in regards to quitting the sex industry. I have gotten a lot of hate for making that decision, but the support has definitely outweighed the hate, I would say. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. What would you say is your spirit animal? A while ago, I found out what my Native American totem animal is, and it's based on your birthday, like what time you were born. It's kind of like a birth chart, and I believe it said mine was an otter. Otters are very playful, but they're also very loyal. They're very protective of people that are close to them, and I definitely think that I fall into that category. They're cute, but they tend to be pretty tough and stubborn and hard-headed, which I know I can be a lot of the time. I was gonna say sometimes, but Richie will say otherwise. All the time. What was the first console you played on? I played on an original Atari. I didn't own a console until I was about 18, and I purchased an Xbox 360. So that was my first console that I owned. But the first one that I ever played on was probably, I think it was a Nintendo 64. It was my mom's friend's kid's console. I didn't have one back then. All I had were handheld gaming devices like Game Boys. I always wanted a console of my own, but my parents thought that a handheld gaming thing was better for me, since I would just play that thing non-stop. What did you spend all your money on when you were making 100K a year? Just to clarify, I only made 100K that one year, and that didn't even include what I had to pay back in taxes. That was a few years ago, and that was towards the end of when I was last camming on my free cams. And when I started making videos, I think that was about halfway through the year that I started doing that. So I believe it was June or July or August or something. First few months that I started making videos, I made a lot. I'll just say that much. But I was very very bad with my spending habits. I used to be a lot worse when I was about 18. And I had a shopping addiction. I would online shop all the time and spend money I didn't really have or did have but needed for other things. I was very, very bad with money. That is one thing I do kind of regret, but because of those decisions and my bad spending habits, I learned now how to budget my money better. For that, I'm grateful, but not for the shitty times. Even when I was making 100K a year, I did spend a lot of money on remodeling parts of the house I was living in at the time. It was my dad's house, and remodeling my room. I redid everything. I bought all new furniture, and I didn't exactly look for the cheapest thing I could find. I kind of just wanted what I wanted and bought what I bought. But I was just very frivolous with my money. I would buy things for other people too, but I basically spent a lot of money on myself. I used to go out a lot on like every single weekend, and sometimes even multiple times, like Fridays and Saturdays, and just blow all my money, just buy a lot of drinks and cover fees and all that stuff. I was just very, very bad with my money. I was taking it for granted that I was making that much, and I thought I would make that much all the time. And then I was just like, oh, I had plenty of time to save my money, but I didn't. And I didn't realize that at the time. What is the biggest dick you have taken? Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know. I don't measure people's dicks. I don't know if I should be doing that. In terms of biggest, I don't really know in terms of length. Maybe 7, 8 inches, maybe. The biggest dick that I've taken actually tore my vagina. I think he was about the size of like a soda can. So like girthiness, and maybe a little longer in terms of length than a soda can, but the girthiness was almost like, if not exactly, that girth. And it was really bad. It did not feel good. Have you ever had a threesome? Yes, I have. First threesome I had though, it was me, an ex-boyfriend of mine, and his best friend. It happened when I was 18, and it was okay. It was pretty awkward. Basically everyone had to get really drunk before it even happened, because I guess people, well, I didn't have to, but the guys did, just because they thought it would be so uncomfortable and awkward. It wasn't really awkward, I think, because they drank so much, but needless to say, after trying it once, I didn't really care to try it again. Whether or not it's with another girl or another guy or whoever, it doesn't matter. I just don't really care for threesomes that much anymore. How did you get into gaming? As long as I can remember, I was playing on a PC or playing on a Game Boy. I was always interested in it. I am an only child, so I didn't really have a lot of friends. I didn't really have a lot of friends either. I really didn't have any, to be honest with you guys. And no siblings, so I wasn't really close with anyone. I spent a lot of time by myself, and I did get teased a lot when I was younger, so I would turn to video games as kind of like an alternate reality and a place where I had friends, a place that was better than reality, essentially. I just always loved gaming and had a huge appreciation for it. It didn't matter what game I was playing, just kind of just pursued what I loved and what I had a passion for. So what career or profession do you plan to have since you left the sex industry? I would like to be a shoutcaster one day. That's partially why I started streaming on Twitch, because it's something that I really truly enjoy. And ever since I've been following esports, especially with League of Legends for a long time, I've always liked and appreciated the shoutcasters, and I always definitely pay close attention to what they do and what they talk about, and I think it would be something really enjoyable for me. And I think that Twitch is a good kind of segue into esports. I would like to work in the gaming or esports industry. I think it would be something that I would truly love and be passionate about despite any obstacles I might encounter. Do you have any pets? At the moment, I don't. I used to have a bearded dragon named Kratos before I moved from Virginia to Colorado about a little over 6 months ago. Currently, one of my friends is taking care of him at a nature center, so he's definitely happy. And I have been talking to Richie recently about getting a cat, so hopefully that's something in the near future. However, I probably won't be getting a cat until I get into a new house or a different apartment or something. How did you meet Richie, and how long were you dating before you moved in together? That ex that I mentioned earlier, that I had the threesome with him and his best friend, I actually met Richie through him. He was a mutual friend of one of my ex's roommates, and so that's how I met Richie. He had a girlfriend at the time, a different girlfriend, but we would talk sometimes if he would come to the house, but I wasn't really super close friends with him. And then a few years ago, I came back to Colorado for like a trip for my friend's birthday, and we hung out together, did some shit together. And and then we started talking from that point, like a lot. And even when I came back to Virginia from my Colorado trip, we would keep talking. A couple years later, after I had broken up with Shane, I started talking with Richie again, and we kind of started like a long distance thing for about a couple months. And at the end of July, I moved to Colorado to live with him in this apartment. Your whole groin area looks fucked up in your succubus video. Bad lighting maybe? Cool concept, but disappointing because of it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I saw nothing wrong with my groin area, so yeah. And bad lighting. I'm using pretty good lighting, so I don't know what yours is, but you're dumb as fuck with money. You barely end up with enough rent money. Near the end of the month, you're always asking people to buy your shit because you're short on rent. Ridiculous. First of all, I have never been short on rent. Towards the end of the month, I might get a little anxious about money because I like to have a surplus. Obviously, I don't like to live paycheck to paycheck. Of course, I'm gonna ask people to buy stuff, but it's completely voluntary. If I'm ever asking someone to buy things or to check something out, it's always voluntary. No one has to do it. I'm merely promoting my stuff because that's part of my job. I'm advertising my content and my products. What company doesn't do that? I'll wait. Have you ever thought about being a high-end escort for a select few lucky gentlemen? You are amazingly beautiful. Any man would be lucky as hell to spend time with you. I just have no interest in doing that. Even though I do what I do for work in the sex industry with videos and stuff like that, and my Snapchat or whatever, I'm actually very kind of shy one-on-one. Not really like that with Richie, but it's because we're dating, you know. He's seen me naked 1 in a million times. When it comes to someone else that I'm like Skyping with, even if it's like a customer, sometimes I definitely get those nerves and like butterflies a little bit because I do get a little shy and nervous, and I feel like I would be the same way as an escort. Have you gained weight? Not trying to be rude, but it looks like you have. I mean, I might have gained weight. I don't run the scale, so I don't know. Usually my weight fluctuates between like 110 and not even 120, like 105 and 115. I might have gained weight. I don't know. I've definitely lost tone though, because I totally don't work out anymore. Does your dad watch your sexual videos and beat off? compel someone to ask something like that. That's yours? Jesus. Have you ever thought about killing yourself? Yes, I have many, many times. When I was in middle school, or junior high, more like, I was so lonely. I had no friends, as I mentioned earlier. I got teased a lot and was also one of the victims of a burn book that girls in my grade had made. The one in Mean Girls, where people basically write in it and talk shit about you. And since I had no friends really, or a decent support system, that hurt me a lot. And there were a bunch of other things going on, like arguments with my parents, especially my mom. I don't know, and I was starting to go through, you know, like puberty was starting to happen, and I was starting to like boys, and you know, it was just, you know, just fucking tween angst, basically. Looking back on it now, I realize how silly I was. But I just felt so bad and so depressed with my life that I actually had tried to kill myself several times when I was younger, but of course being younger and being kind of a pussy, I just tried to take a bunch of painkillers a few times just to see if that would end my life. And of course it didn't. I'm still here. But there were a few times, even in high school, that I had wanted to kill myself as well. And also my first year living here in Colorado, when I had moved out here at 18 by myself. And I had a lot of people talking shit about me, who I didn't even really know at all. Some people I really didn't know at all. But my boyfriend / ex at the time would complain about me a lot and talk shit about me to all his friends and even people I didn't know. So a lot of people thought badly of me. I was struggling. I was almost homeless, and I was having a really hard time. And it was around that time I realized that killing myself wasn't really working out for me because I was really bad at it, apparently. And I ended up starting to self-harm. I would start cutting myself, and it just got really bad. It was not a good time for me. There are times even now that when I feel like I've hit rock bottom, that I wouldn't try to kill myself, but I would think about it a lot. Because of my past experiences, I am a stronger person now, and I feel like I've overcome that part of myself that wants me to die. I guess I'm still kind of battling with those thoughts sometimes, because I definitely do still have those thoughts when I'm having really low moments. And recently I've been pretty depressed, but I've definitely been doing better than I have in previous years when I would have really bad times. And that's what I keep thinking of when I feel like I'm at my lowest. I've had times in the past that I thought were really bad, like in junior high, and where I tried to kill myself over the most petty shit. And now I would say the stuff is way more serious. The stuff that I'm having problems with and is making me depressed is way more serious than back then. But I always get over it every time. So that's kind of the only thing keeping me alive right now, along with the support of everyone else that's been really, really kind to me. Honestly, if I didn't have the support system that I do now with all my friends and people that are close to me, I might be attempting suicide again like I did in junior high. Who knows? And I'm thankful for that every day. And I know I probably don't say it enough, but I think about it every day, how grateful I am to have all these people in my life. So I want to thank you guys for watching this. If you have any other questions or things you want addressed for maybe another video sometime in the future, you can leave them in the comments below. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe. I will see you next time.